I have a proposal for you. Okay. You go to your bank and get a certified bank check for $10,000
Okay.
and send it to me in the mail. Okay. And this is what I will give you in exchange. 10 years from now, I will give you the keys to a villa on the Amalfi Coast of Italy. It'll be 10,000 square feet. It will overlook the Mediterranean. And here are the conditions. You can't see any examples. I'm not going to show you any villas that have already been built because it's none of your business. And you won't hear from me again until 10 years have gone by and I contact you to give you the keys. Now, is that an offer that you're willing to accept?
Depends on who you are.
Right. Me?
Yeah.
Probably not. Okay, don't send me any checks anytime soon because I can't do it. But, you know, it's one of those things that I just made you an economic offer. You can cut me a check right now and I may or may not give you something 10 years from now that you can't verify, or I may just skip town with the money and...
Sounds like a Nigerian
Sounds
scam,
like a Nigerian...
basically.
Yeah, exactly, which is exactly how Nigerian scammers and, you know, all of those things work.
Yeah.
What we're talking about here is trust. Okay? So I just made you an offer that you can't verify, you can't look into.
Right.
You just have to trust me.
Well, it sounds very dubious, Josh.
But think of it from a scammer's perspective. What they do
Right.
is try to establish enough trust and then at least get someone to buy in.
Right.
And then, you know, they milk them for all they're worth.
Bad news.
The essential element here is the reason why you won't be cutting me a $10,000 check anytime soon is because there's not enough trust built up between us that I can actually give you what I just promised. And in reality, I can't, so don't send me a check. But trust is the essential element in every transaction. If there's not enough trust between both parties, A, that there's something valuable to be had, and B, that the other party can actually provide that value,
True. Transaction
will never take place. And, you know, it's not, or by taking steps, and this is, you know, putting yourself in the perspective of the seller now. You're making offers to people.
Right.
Okay? And in order for them to accept that offer, they have to trust that you can deliver the value that you've been promising. And if they don't trust you, they will never buy from you.
You're right.
So a lot of what differentiates marketing from sales is marketing is getting their attention and making them interested. Sales is getting them to trust you that you can actually deliver the value that you've promised.
Makes sense.
And without that trust, no transaction. So a lot of things we're talking about in this section are how to establish trust with people, how to prove to them that you're trustworthy, that you can deliver what you say, and that you are going to hold up your end of the bargain. And the easier, you know, it's funny that there are some segments of business, like think of something like an escrow account. Okay, so when you're buying a house, for example, a special bank account will be opened, and you deposit money into it, and the other party can't withdraw that money without your consent, but they can verify that it's there. Okay, so you put money into the escrow account. The buyer can see that, yes, you actually have the money, and then that helps establish trust in the relationship. Credit checks, background checks, even to a certain extent, customer reviews, like are on Amazon, are all part of building trust. And the more trustworthy you can present yourself as, you know, I can actually deliver this for you, and the more that your customer believes it, the easier it will be to actually close a transaction and to make a successful sale.
Absolutely. I feel like as a salesperson, getting through that barrier of getting them to trust you is actually the first thing you do before they hear anything about the value, before they hear anything about thinking about it afterwards, which is why certain things like referrals, if you can get good referrals, it kind of cuts through the trust thing already. So you can just start, you know, it'll maybe take you like 2 days to make a sale instead of a week to make a sale. If there's any way you can find to get customers, I mean, this kind of goes along with qualifying,
Yep.
but who are already qualified, who already trust you and who don't think you're going to be a used car salesman, makes it way easier to get to the really important stuff because they don't think that you're just
Right.
pulling them along.
Right. And what typifies, or why do the schmarmy salesperson, why did they come across that way? Because they don't care enough to establish trust with you first.
Right.
They just try to push the
Give me
sale
money,
on
give me
you.
money. Yeah.
And as salespeople, and as customers, we're human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And trust is a really big deal. And so if you don't trust the person who's trying to push something on you,
Yep.
you're probably not going to do it, or you're going to come across with a very bad reputational impact on that. So, trust is a really big deal.
Yeah.
And so the central element, as you're thinking about all of these things in the sales process, the central element is A, you must make a transaction, and B, the only way you can close a transaction is by establishing trust.
Absolutely.
And the more trustworthy you can present yourself, the easier it will be to actually make the sale.
Good.